What is up, guys? Welcome to Wrestle Talk Live, one of the series part of Chaos and Harmony podcast. Chaos and Harmony podcast is a podcast that dives in deep into the wrestling scene around me and around you. While we were in the chaos, we find our harmony. So no matter what your goal or dream is in life, pursue that dream and run after it no matter what stops you. No matter what stops you. Today, we are interviewing the amazing voice of wrestling, Annalynn. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Wrestle Talk Live. Here we are at Season 3, going at it full swing, no big deal. We are here today with not only a voice in the wrestling scene around me and you, but Annalynn. Welcome, Annalynn, to the podcast. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great. My voice is a little raspy, so I apologize for that. But other than that, I'm doing good. I got my drink here. I'll be sipping on.
Heck yeah. It's all good. We know that you're an announcer in the scene, so if your voice is raspy, we understand. How are we feeling? I know you had a big weekend this weekend. If you want to highlight what you did.
Yeah, so for the first time, I'm a member of the Muskogee tribe, and for the first time, I got the honor of going and speaking and guest emceeing there at the event that they had. And it's one of many events that we're going to start putting on and just highlighting, the women's spirit in just the tribal and culture and heritage and everything. So I got to do that on Friday, and it was cool because I got to have my family there for that. And then Saturday, I went to EPW Ephesians Pro Wrestling in Texas, and it was their 25th anniversary show. And it was just kind of like turning over a new leaf for them, a whole new chapter for that company. And then they had had the honor of being their first ever woman on the show in their 25 years of existing. And then that night I was a part of getting to announce the first ever women's match that they had that night with a women's referee and then the two girls that wrestled. And so that was a big deal. And again, some of my family was there with that. And, of course, Sunday we had Mother's Day, so I got to spend a day with my family and with my mom and my boys and everything. So it was very busy. I was very tired, but I always stay busy, so that's just life.
Right. No, I understand that. I'm going everywhere too. I yesterday was at a training for Empire Pro here in Oklahoma City. Then I had a show down in Ada this past weekend too, and I got to film ringside for Empire Pro. So that was really cool. May is when you're a mom, you're a woman in the scene, and you're also supporting your tribal nation with that too. So I appreciate everything you do as a woman in the wrestling industry. I know in the beginning of like WWF or like more in the beginning, women are kind of looked down upon. So I wanted to highlight this month, importantly, the women in our industry around us. I know I have you for this kickoff. Then I have Lucy Blade out in Mississippi from Gulf Coast. We have Nigeria Loveless. She's from Amarillo, Texas. Then Clover Botello. She's from the Tulsa area. So
Yeah.
I love get to know y'all as people in the industry. Wrestling has been a passion of mine for my whole entire life. Ever since I was sneaking, like trying to watch it when my dad was up late watching wrestling under our family piano. So that's a little highlight on my end. But thank you for joining Wrestle Talk Live. Welcome to the Chaos and Harmony family. If y'all are here, let her know. Feel free to comment, say whatever y'all want. Let us know. something that y'all might want to know about her in the comments. And
I'm an open book. Bring all the questions.
Right. You've worn many hats in the industry, from valet to announcer to show host. What's been the most fulfilling role you have played in the industry, and why?
Oh man, I get this question quite a few times, and it's like I always struggle with it, and because there's so much that I love about wrestling and so much that I've done. I mean, over 17 years, I've literally done everything you could possibly do in professional wrestling, both front of the house, behind the house. I really there's always two that are at the top of the list for me. I really enjoy anything to do with character development. So I love getting when I get to bring a character and I get to wrestle or manage in a certain character and bring that to life. That's a huge passion of mine when it comes to wrestling. And then I also love producing shows. So being the person behind the scenes and directing and producing and amplifying other people and their characters and like just giving them a platform to, exceed and do better at what they're doing. And just helping in that kind of way. Those are my two passions really at the top of my list of everything I've done.
That's amazing. I noticed that you do a lot in the industry already. Your dad's also in the scene. You have a brother in the scene. I got to interview your dad for season 1, actually, so that was really cool. He actually is the reason why I know you're the daughter of Striker, the Hall of Famer. So it's really cool to get to highlight different people in a family of different legends and wrestlers in the scene.
Yeah, my
Scott.
fiance wrestles too, and then it's all wrestling all the time in my house. I'm sure my boys will be soon behind me with no pressure. That's their own decision, but it's all wrestling all the time right now, so I kind of expect it.
We had a friend say hi, Annalynn.
Oh, hi, Kira.
Scott. So, yeah, welcome in. Thanks for watching and tuning in, Kira. My my next question would be: you've worked with a wide range of promotions and talent across the years.
Mm-hmm.
How have you seen the role of a woman evolve in the wrestling scene, especially on the mic?
Oh man, well, on the mic specifically, there wasn't a whole lot of people that were women that were on the microphone, back in the day. You definitely see it's way more common now. Actually, in like wrestling as a whole, I just spoke about this at that EPW show that I mentioned earlier. It's such a historical night for them for 25 years and having the first ever women's match. And like I've been around and in wrestling locker rooms since I was 6 years old, and I just spoke about the fact that as a kid at these shows, I would see women as managers or valets really because, they didn't really get that involved. They were just out there and they were just told, hey, just stand out there and look pretty, which it was fine. But to see the evolution of that and being able to watch throughout, from when I was 6 years old until now through my career and everything, and to see how much of a difference like women make in professional wrestling now and how it is an attraction and people are going out there and they're proving people wrong and they're proving stigmas wrong and they work hard and they earn their spots in these places and in history and everything. It's such an amazing thing to witness and be a part of, just on the ground level, seeing that and seeing how far it's developed and where it's gone to now. It's amazing to me, and I'm so proud of every woman out there that's taking it seriously and doing what it's supposed to be doing and proving people wrong and proving the stigmas wrong and out there and just being badasses and stuff. Like, kudos to every woman out there doing that.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. A random one. Who's someone that you like to pay attention to if you're watching?
Oh man, an all-time favorite, I always have to say. And if you look at any of my actual character work and like wrestling or managing work, you'll kind of see the influence. I'm always a huge fan of Undertaker. Obviously, we're talking about women here. Everything. As far as like I really love the attitude of I'm going to prove people wrong and I'm going to prove people that I'm here and I deserve to be here. As far as like on the big scene and stuff, like Becky Lynch is somebody that I think emphasizes that a lot. And she's, over and over in her career, she is, bound and determined to prove people wrong and prove that, she is, she deserves to be where she's at.
I
Always
love that. I
enjoyed her.
love that. Taker, one of my Mount Rushmore guys, then Becky Lynch, the man. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh, she's
exactly.
incredible.
Everything she just like represents and everything, from just like the little things like that in her character, it just amplifies everything that I love about women and going out there and working hard and doing their thing.
She also represents for the Irish women out there,
And the
like
moms.
Lyra and a lot of other people out there. She's a major star that came from Ireland, and not a lot of women can get to say that. Like, she's like one of the most top, like,
Yeah. And
Irish
for her
women
to,
to do
to
it.
put a pause on her career to go have a child and be able to come back and not, there's so much fear as a woman that like you gotta wait and you can't have children, you can't start a family because your career's just put on pause and you don't know if it's gonna be there whenever you get back. And she's one of those again that's out there proving people wrong. She's
Right.
done doing the work, and being a mom doesn't stop you from doing your work and being one of the best.
Gotta love some Rue. As someone who comes from a wrestling family, I did highlight earlier, how has the legacy shaped your path and your approach to the career that you're in?
So it's a weird thing to use the term legacy, because I set out from the very beginning. Obviously, I have to be thankful because if I didn't have those before me, I wouldn't be where I'm at because I wouldn't have got introduced to the life. However, whenever I decided to work in professional wrestling on my own, I was very determined, for lack of better words, to just build my own legacy. I said I don't want to be trained differently because of who I'm related to or who I'm dating or the fact that I'm a woman. I was like, I don't want to be fast tracked through wrestling because you just want a woman on your show. I don't want any of that. And I've been around wrestling long enough to know if you're giving me special treatment, if you're fast tracking me and anything. I was like, I want to be trained and I want to be brought up in wrestling as a man, essentially. And I want to put in that work and everything because I don't want to be like, oh well, that's so and so's daughter or that's so and so's sister. I'm like, no, that's Annalynn. That's what I wanted. And so I don't, a lot of people don't even know. It's so funny. So many people tell me all the time they had no idea who I'm related to. And I don't go around boasting it. And it's not because I'm like shameful or anything like that, but it's always been my goal to have my career for me and my hard work to represent what I've done and that speak for itself. I work very hard on what I do and I take what I do very seriously and everything. And I want to be respected for what I've done and not anything else. And that's really been a drive for me.
Coming from the wrestling scene, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for the work you've done.
Thank you.
For the women coming after you. You are a light to people out there, even guys that want to become announcers. You're a light to people out there. So never give up on that. Keep going forward and accomplish those goals and become the Annalynn, not your family's legacy. I love that. Wrestling can be physical and mentally demanding, even behind the scenes. How do you take care of your mental and emotional well-being in the industry due to like it being Women's Health Month? Women's health is equally as important as men's health in the industry. So tell me a little bit about
that. The big thing that comes to mind first that I try to practice as much as possible is balance. I'm constantly juggling many hats. I just graduated back in November, but at one point I'm a full-time student. I'm a full-time mom. I'm doing the wrestling stuff. I'm doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. But if I'm not at a show, I'm probably still doing something wrestling related all throughout the week. I have 3 boys that are all in sports all year long and they're all doing things. And so like not only with wrestling can be overwhelming and you need, practice balance and stuff for your mental health, but just life in general. And I get overwhelmed very easy and I have a tendency when I get overwhelmed to like shut down kind of. I'm horrible about like answering messages when I feel that way, like and like other things. But a couple of things that are very strict for me is like Mondays are, you'll hear me say this all the time, Mondays are for recovery. If I'm doing stuff over the weekends, Mondays are I do, and obviously I can't control my kids' schedule. So outside of that, Mondays, I don't plan anything. I don't do anything. I don't travel anywhere. Mondays are strictly for recovery. And if I can avoid going anywhere at all, I do. And I try to take that one day a week, especially when I've been traveling over the weekend, to just not do anything and recover mentally and physically and everything before I just jump back in there and stuff, because I've learned the hard way, if I don't take that time, then I am just mentally and physically exhausted, and it just doesn't do good for me for the rest of the time. And just recognizing that in yourself, like, I've been through the years where I'm just like go 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 go, and I can still do that sometimes, but it's that old saying, if you don't take the time to rest, your body's going to make you. And you just got to realize that and everything, and just try to be aware of yourself and your mental health and stuff like that. Just the balance, being self-aware and understanding like it's okay to slow down. It's okay to take breaks. It's okay to be honest and be like, hey, sorry, I didn't answer your message. I just had a busy week, or I've just been out of it and everything and stuff. And, most people will understand that. And if they don't, then they're not somebody you need to understand, And that's the biggest
Exactly.
biggest things I preach to people all the time, especially people coming up in wrestling. It's like you can only be going and going on the fast track and being stubborn about not only your mental health but your like physical health as well for so long before something's going to make you stop abruptly, and then you're going to be forced to take that break. You're going to be forced, or you're going to get burnt out, or something negative is going to happen. And if you want to be in it for the long run, you got to take care of yourself in all ways.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. No, I understand that. Monday, remember that, guys. Monday is day off for Annalynn.
Mondays are for recovery.
Rest day. Take your day off. Go get your hair done. Go get your nails
Oh,
done.
I'm not even doing that. I'm taking a nap.
Monday's the day off for you. I like that. Monday is my raw night, but yeah, I try to. I'm a overnight guy. I work a lot. I'm doing a lot of different projects right now, so it's always good for your mental and just emotional to reset every week. Have one day to just reset a little bit and reflect on how the weekend was, or just however it's going. So I really like that mindset. Always remember, like, if you're being drained and every ounce of you is into something, take one little step back a little bit.
You'll hit a wall and you'll burn out, and that obviously is against what you really want to do and everything. So you want to avoid that.
Take care of yourself. That's very important in this industry, and a lot of people don't realize like what goes into every little aspect of what wrestling or being just an announcer. Like you said when we first started, it's like your voice is kind of raspy. I bet you talk a lot already. So being on a podcast, you're like, man, I got to talk a little bit today. So I understand that, and
thankfully,
I appreciate
with how long I've been doing announcing, it's really like my voice is raspy. Thankfully, I like one of my errands that I ran. I know we spoke. I was like, I gotta run errands this morning. I went by and swung by my doctor's office. I was like, swab me real quick. So I was like, I don't know if I have strep throat or just allergies. Thankfully, it's just allergies. I'm not sick, but just looked like though. And this is advice for usually if I get asked advice for announcers or and stuff like that, this is the one thing I say, and I've learned years ago, is if you can learn to announce from your gut and not in your throat. And I know that sounds funky when somebody doesn't really know what I'm talking about, but the people that know, you'll never have issues with your throat. You won't need to baby it. You won't have the raspy voice. You won't lose your voice or anything like that. But if you can learn to announce from your gut, you're golden. It's the shows where I have to switch back and forth and I'm doing commentary, then running in the ring and announcing and running back to commentary. That's when I end up losing my voice by the end of the night because I'm using both. Otherwise, I'm pretty good about never losing my voice on shows.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm a singer myself, so like the diaphragm's a good spot to throw your voice from.
And if you
like
can get
that,
that
never
down,
use your
it's
throat.
a lifesaver.
I had to learn that in choir at a young age, so that was hard to learn. But after getting to repeat it over and over again, it kind of feels more natural to.
Yeah, it took me a while. I was a couple years in. I never had formal training. My training was like, hey, we don't have anybody to announce tonight, and literally get shoved through the curtains. And I'm like, oh gosh. And if you go, it's so funny. I always give people crap because those first shows, the first couple of years, it took me a while to figure all that out and fine tune and get the voice that you guys hear now and stuff because it just, like I said, I had no formal training whatsoever. I was just thrown into it. But people were just like, oh, you did a good job. You did a good job. And I go back and listen to it and I'm like, y'all are all liars. Every single one of them are liars. Because that sounded awful. So
well, that's really cool that you got thrown in like that because it kind of reminds me of how I just like kind of started filming ringside. So
yeah, things just happen.
It's really cool how the water works.
It really saved me though because like there toward the very end of my training, I wasn't that far out from debuting, and I found out I was pregnant with my oldest son, and it was like crap, gotta pivot. And so that's when I got to do a deep dive into a lot of my psychology training and character development training and stuff. And so that got really overdeveloped. Had if I was actually going with training and stuff, that would have been shortened. But we pivoted on the training, and then I was able to do that on the show and everything. So that's kind of, it all happened on accident and everything, but it worked out and everything. And that's like, you say I wear many hats. So like I said, there's not a single thing in wrestling that I haven't done in the past 17 years. And I feel like not a lot of people can say that, but it's because everything just happening by chance. And I'm very thankful for the way I was brought up in wrestling.
I feel like you're called to it. I don't know if you feel that way, but I feel like you are, or I don't think you would be there where you are. So I think you're meant to be where you are, and keep killing it because you're doing a great job. I love getting to see like Kenny Sign Guy posted like his poster he made of you and different people in the scene talk about you.
Excited about that. And it was so funny, the pictures, like, so I can't remember who it was, but one of my buddies was like filming and taking pictures of him presented it to me, and I lost my mind. I was like, this is so freaking cool, and I've got it hanging up in my room and everything.
Heck yeah. Yeah, Kenny is a great friend of mine. I've been his friend ever since I went my first show back in July of last year. So
good people.
Yeah, great guy. You've been recognized multiple times as the ring announcer of the year. What do you think makes a great ring announcer stand out in today's wrestling landscape?
I get a lot of feedback, or not so much like feedback, but I hear people make comments and stuff like that about what they like or don't like from ring announcers. They're like, oh, I will have people just come up to me like, I love you when you announce me because you actually pronounce my name right. And I'm like, you have one job. Like, how are these announcers just flat out not announcing people's name right? Or they'll say the wrong things or like the wrong towns. And something is like, I am very thorough. Even if I've announced you 100 times, like for instance, I was just talking to Barrett on Saturday. I started a couple years ago keeping track of all, like how many people I've announced, what people I announced, how many times these people I announced them. And I announced Barrett Brown more than anybody else, all of last year. And so I obviously have his stuff memorized, but I'm very thorough, and I'm like, hey, are we still doing X, Y, Z? And most of the time it's going to be yes, but it could be a no. Hey, we're going to try this tonight and everything. And I'm very thorough in that way. And I'm also very, if it's somebody I haven't announced before or they are saying something different, I say it, then I want you to say it, and then I say it again. So you hear me say it, I hear you say it. So we both understand and hear what I'm supposed to be saying. So we know it's foolproof, it's not getting pronounced incorrectly. And I also, when a lot of people, it's so funny, they'll see me running, they're like, oh, it's spelled this. I'm like, I'm not spelling it as the way it's supposed to be spelled. I'm spelling it out phonetically. So that way I know, again, it's a reminder that to say it correctly. And it's just like a little backup insurance thing for me. And it's just amazing to me that these people don't take the time to go and check these things off and make sure that they are, announcing these things correctly, or they're not just going off a website or what they see on Facebook. Because that's a lot of times what people say, like, oh, that's what was on Facebook, so I just said that. Whereas, like, even my name's funky on Facebook because Facebook has like those weird rules where you can't do things on there. But so, like, just talk to people. Like, if there's any announcers out there, like, just talk to them. They know that you're there to do that job and that you need to do your job. And in order to do your job, they need the information from, the wrestlers and everything. So don't be scared to talk to people. Like, that is your job. Go talk to them. Make sure you're checking in on making sure you're pronouncing them right. Don't assume. Make sure that you're saying it correctly. Don't assume you know what moniker or nickname they're using. Don't assume you know where they're from because that's what it says on Facebook. Talk to them. It's really that simple. And it's crazy that that's the feedback I get, the people they don't like.
Right. Yeah, someone that you made me think of, Samantha Irvin. When she did her announcing, she would write her like what she had to say out like she was singing it, like Chelsea Green. Like I don't know, like different. I still hear her voice every time they announce on WWE, and I'm like, she just did it so unique that like no one else does it like her.
Yeah.
And I've noticed you're the same way. Like, not a lot of people are like Annalynn in the industry here we have in Oklahoma and the surrounding states. So it's impressive how you kind of just like do that. I'm very much a people person, so like anyone in a brand, I'm trying to get to know and shake their hand and get to know their name, make sure I'm saying it correctly, stuff like that. Because like my job here, like interviewing, I don't want to be like, oh, what's her name again, or
I know,
like,
yeah.
and
it's
even
like,
though it's right in front of me, but like some people, I feel like it takes a certain kind of person to remember every detail like that, and I love that about you because you remember how many times you announced for that person, like you like record that. That's really awesome to do, and anyone going out there to be an announcer, take that advice from Annalynn today, definitely. If you have to give advice to someone, especially a young woman looking to break into the wrestling scene, whether it's talent, being an announcer, or just working backstage, what would your advice be for them?
Remember that it's always going to be hard. And it's going to be harder for you as a woman than your buddy right next to you that's a guy. And that's just the industry that we're in, unfortunately. And, there's been strides taken to make that better for a lot of people, but we are still in a male-dominated industry. So it is what it is, even if it's a subconscious thing that we have to battle against. So remember that it's hard, but the motto that I have always lived by is you can do hard things. And you just got to stay headstrong and you are able to talk to people too. You can go and ask for advice and everything. And a lot of people are scared to talk to other people and talk, pay and talk about their experience with promoters and everything. Like, don't do that, especially as a woman. Like, even me personally, like, reach out to me. I am willing to help anybody. I have a very mama bear personality and everything, and I want to help people and that are coming up and everything. And I want to help and create, even if it's just with me solely, a safe environment and everything that you can talk and get guidance and help and everything like that. And there's going to be a lot of people that throw things at you in a way like I mentioned earlier, to fast track you through wrestling. You don't want that. It's going to become, it seems the easy route. It seems like the fast route. It seems like, oh yeah, I can do this and everything. And then, but when you get thrown out there and you're done with training and stuff, you will be far behind than what you need to be. And you're to be even more of a struggle. Do things right. Go through the training, finish the training and everything. Don't get fast tracked. It will not do you any good, no matter how much it's appealed to you. People just take advantage sometimes of those situations. They just want to fast track these women. And I get it, because there's a lot of areas where there's not a lot of women to work on shows or do these things and stuff. And it's just, they grab, oh, there's so-and-so's girlfriend. She's here tonight. Let's just throw her out there. And that's just not the way to go about it and everything. Do things right, and you're going to be more respected in the long run. And you're going to be better off in the long run and better trained and better equipped to do these jobs.
That's amazing. Listen to that advice, people out there. She has it. I don't know about y'all, but she has it. Legit, she's been doing it. You said 17 years now?
January made 17 years since I first debuted on a show.
Wow, that's crazy. That's a lot of time, and I can't wait to see more years to come. That's very exciting. Um, you are well seasoned in the scene. 17 years is a long time.
And that's why I went to school. I got my bachelor's degree in entertainment business. So just to solidify that a little bit more, it's like, I love this business. I have a passion for it, and I want to work hard for it just as much as I want to do for myself. And so that was, one of the driving reasons why I went back to school and got that degree and everything.
That's incredible. Heck yeah. She took the next step, guys. She took the next step and got a degree in the passion that drives her in the scene today. What pushes you daily? What's the motivation that keeps you showing up and giving your all to the businesses that you work for?
It's the cliche, it's something that I love. It's a passion of mine, but at this point, like, it's such a part of me. It's part of who I am. And, there's not only that motivation of, like, not only do I love this, but I'm good at it and I can help others and, and really add to a lot of places that I go to. And not in any kind of like arrogant way and everything, because a lot of times, like, people don't even realize what all I've done, because I like to stay behind the scenes, because I feel like if you truly love and want to see other people, other companies succeed in that way, you don't have to go plastering your name on everything. And it's also, too, like, I work very hard, and I'm a single mom. Well, I'm getting engaged now, or getting married soon. But, for a long time, I was a single mom to my 3 boys. And it was really important to me to be such an example of, again, you can do hard things, no matter your circumstances, no matter how scary it is, no matter if you've got everything up against you, you can do it. If you have a dream and you have a passion and stuff, and it's just do it. Like, and that's a real motivation, thing for me. And I want, we talked about legacy and everything. And I try to build, my own legacy of that. But, if my boys decide that they want to get into this and stuff, I hope that there's something that I can build for them if they choose it. I'd be just as proud of them if they had the same mindset of me. If I want to do this on my own and work on my own, cool. But if they also want to work with me, like, I hope that, I've built something enough for them too. And so that's a big drive, for me. But it's really just the passion and love I have for it. And that's really that's the motivation. And a lot of times if you have conversations with me at shows and everything, it's like that, I like to do a lot of things that people think are crazy or why did you do that? I would never do that if I were you. But it's like, I'm here to make a difference. And that's what I try to do everywhere I go in some way or form. And whether it's with an individual, whether it's with a company or anything like that, like that's how I function really.
Okay. We had Brian Scott says, yes, you are a great announcer. Love being in the ring with you.
Love you, Brian.
Then Kirk Castle says, just do it.
That would be my fiance.
Oh, congrats, guys! Y'all are awesome.
Thank you.
I've been paying attention a little bit, not too much, but just enough to know about y'all and get to know y'all through the scene. One day we'll meet in person and get to hang out and stuff. But
I feel like the Oklahoma City area is so close yet so far for me. I'm rarely in Oklahoma City anymore.
I'm kind of everywhere too. I'm all over the place all the time. I go to Tulsa a lot. I've been out to Bristow for Lionheart. I like to stay around here too. I'm currently doing stuff for Empire Pro Wrestling. Then
I did commentary for them for a little while and did some stuff way back in the day with them. It's been a while though.
Right. Actually, where I met Striker, the Hall of Famer, was Empire Pro, and he kind of on the interview was like, "Yeah, my daughter Annalynn, my son Maddox Jones." I'm like, "Wait, what? What did he say?" Then ever since then, I kind of paid attention a little more because, like Cody Rhodes' song when he comes out. Wrestling doesn't just have one royal family. Y'all are a royal family inside the industry too, so keep that in mind. But it's awesome that you got to come on here and talk to me. I enjoyed getting to know you today. It's really incredible of you as a mom, as a woman in our scene to step out and keep going full force for your goals and your passion for what the scene is doing for you.
Thank you.
Oh, we had my favorite CCW couple who we see as family. Oh, that's sweet.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's all my questions. Do you have anything you want to leave the crowd with?
Not that I can think of. I just finished all my dates in May. June's coming up. Got shows at CCW, like Kara mentioned, in Arkansas coming up on the 14th. We're doing shows at Ephesians Pro Wrestling in Texas. I believe June 7th and the 21st. June 21st, actually, I will be hosting my first ever seminar. It's a all women's wrestling seminar. The EPW coaches will be working with a lot of the women that sign up with the in-ring training, and I'll be taking over all the character development and in-ring psychology and things like that. And we're welcoming experienced and non-experienced. So anybody that's interested as a woman to get into wrestling, this is a great spot. I highly recommend Ephesians Pro Wrestling to anybody, especially women. It's a safe place. It's a growing place. It's amazing. They're making waves down there, and any experienced women too. It's a great place to hone in on your skills. And when we're picking women too, any of the experienced ones that signed up to wrestle on the show that night. So yeah, we're doing it. It's about, I believe we're starting at 10 a.m. that morning and going till 2, and then breaking and coming back for the show. But yeah, I'll be hosting that clinic on June 21st, and I'm really excited about that.
It's really cool that I think you're the perfect guest to kick off the May Women's Health Month. Definitely saying that it's all for women in the industry. So if you're a woman, you're trying to break out into the scene, go to that seminar.
Absolutely. Just shoot me a message if you're watching. Love to have you.
Yeah, that's amazing. So it's really cool that like highlighting women's health in the industry, then you say that it's very fitting to what I'm trying to do here. Not only to give back to the women, but showcase them and give them a spotlight that some of them might not ever had on a podcast, or
Always
they might
appreciated.
have. But I appreciate y'all. I grew up with three sisters, so I love them so much, and I just want to give back to women and in the world. Really, I mean, they deserve everything just as much as a man. So keep going, Annalynn. You're amazing. You're
Thank
awesome.
You.
Keep doing what you're doing. You're killing it.
At least for a while, until these boys wear me out, because they're gonna wear me out before wrestling does.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hey guys, if y'all need merch, I'm selling hats and shirts on our Printify shop. It's ChaosNHarmony.printify.me. Go check it out now. You can also follow us on all platforms. Chaos and Harmony on YouTube, Facebook, and all the other places that you find your video or podcast needs. Thank you again, Annalynn.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Been your host, Eamon Wolf, the wolf behind the lens, with our special guest, Annalynn, kicking off Women's Health Month in May. Go check out her seminar. Go see her at Ephesians Pro Wrestling and all that above. Thank you so much again for what you do in our industry. You're amazing. Keep shining bright.
Thank
You're
you.
awesome. Thank you.
Bye, guys.